Yeah, we are live now, both on audio and also video for opportunity intelligence. It is nice to have you, and I'm excited to be your host today. I'm excited to be your host today. Sorry, I'm going to maximize as much as possible the opportunity I have for both video and audio today. So just bear with me as we go on. So it's beautiful. It's good to have you. Okay. Don't mind me. Something. So it's opportunity intelligence, and it's good to be here. I'm so excited to be here. I'm so excited. A beautiful time. Also, opportunity intelligence is going to be a beautiful time today on opportunity intelligence. So let's go now. This is the 20. This is 40th edition, rather. I'm sorry. This is the 40th edition of opportunity intelligence. The 40th edition of opportunity intelligence. It means that we started about 40 weeks ago, and it's been interesting. It's been amazing. It's been everything you want to say all together. And today I want to talk about something that actually led me to starting the opportunity intelligence about 20, 40 weeks ago. Yeah. And the topic we're going to be taking today is how I escaped depression. How I escaped depression. It wasn't easy, but it happened that I did not fall into the tunnel of depression. It came all at me. It wanted to take me off and take me out of place. I was almost off balance, but somehow uh, it happened that one way or the other, I escaped depression. So I'm going to be sharing with you today how I escaped depression. And I don't want you to fall into this same pit because globally, over 260 million people suffer for depression. And as a matter of fact, depression is actually the pathway to so many diseases. Depression is actually the pathway to so many things happening to us, to our health, so many things affecting our well-being. So it's either people notice the depression, or it is made evident by the disease that eventually happens, or the disease they eventually find themselves in. Okay, how I escaped depression. What is depression? Depression is a mental health disorder characterized by personality depressed mood or loss of interest in activities causing significant impairment in daily life. That is depression according to World Health Organization. A mental health disorder characterized by persistently depressed mood. Your mood is persistently depressed. Now, we have mood, right? Yeah. Mode is what you switch into and you can switch out. Now, there's swing now. There's swing, there's switch. Okay. Now, swing is you go like the pendulum. You are just on it, and before you know it, you are back somehow. But when it becomes persistent, it calls for attention. When it becomes persistent, it calls for great attention, like I said. The problem we have is not that we don't have bad times, but we dwell in bad times. When you dwell in bad times, you become uh, a victim of circumstance. You become a victim of things around you. And oftentimes, that's the problem. Bad times will come. As a matter of fact, the keys of the keyboard, they are in black and white. I tell people this almost every time. that they are in black and white. And what that means is that for us to have music in life, for us to have melodious music in life, you need the and key, black and white keys in life. You need the up and down times. You need the side, and there's just going to be a mix of it. Life is a cocktail. Sometimes it's sweet, sometimes it's a little bit bitter. Sometimes it's extremely bitter. Sometimes it's too sugary. However, no matter what it is also important that we know that life is possible. Life is possible. Life is possible. How I escaped depression. Now look at it. When you look around you, there are going to be 1001 reasons why you should be depressed. When you look around you, you're going to be oppressed. You see things that you feel like, oh, I wish I got this, I wish I got that. You see things like, okay, I wish this is my portion. I wish this is not my portion. You're going to have a lot of stuff like that. And when you look down, you are depressed. Now, when you look down, the first person you are looking down on is not the next person you are seeing. The first person you are looking down on is not the ants in front of you. It's not the mosquito in front of you. It's not the chicken in front of you. It's yourself. When you look down on yourself, you are going to be depressed. When you look down on yourself, you are just on your way to being depressed. And many times, we can't help the situation. We cannot just but look down. And when we look down, we are depressed. Now, what is responsible for why we look down? Why we look down is gravity. I call it gravity. Why we look down is what? Gravity. Now, gravity is that force from above. That force that no matter what it is, when anything goes up, it comes down as long as there is nothing keeping it up there. So that is gravity. So gravity is responsible for why we eventually look down. Don't go away. As we continue in this video, in this audio, in this opportunity intelligence session, I'm going to let you know more about what gravity is. Okay. Yeah. David, you're welcome. It's good to have you. Thank you so much for joining us. It's beautiful. So let's go. Now, what are these stuffs called gravity? Before I go to that, let me quickly tell you what are the symptoms of depression. Those things I began to notice in myself, and I felt like I think something is wrong. So many times we had situations in our life, we had circumstances in our life that we cannot deny. There are stuff that will happen to us, that will happen around us, to people, and even sometimes directly to us that we cannot deny. They happened. It was not just a pandemic, it was a personal pandemic. It was a time, that I felt like, what's going on? It was like that time that you want to give up. It was like that time that you felt like, okay, you know what? I think it's up. But what are those symptoms that you would see and would tell you that, okay, I think something is going wrong. Something is about to, go haywire. One, change in sleep pattern. Now, change in sleep pattern or insomnia. Sometimes able to sleep well. Sometimes you fall asleep quickly and you wake up too early. It's a lot of disorderliness in your sleep pattern. One of those symptoms, alarm again, or you become too alarmed that you quickly will just see yourself waking up. You see, you are already awake. Before you know it, you are awake. Just a little strike, a little stuff happening around you, you're already awake. Sleep pattern, loss of appetite, or sometimes what will I call it now? Inordinate appetite. You just want to get certain thing. You just have certain strong craving for some food item or even habit, even attitude. These are actually signs of depression. Some people they just want to smoke by all means. They just want to drink by all means. They just want to have sex by all means. They just want to do something bad by all means. The craving is so strong, a symptom of depression. Another time is dwindling energy level. Sometimes you see people they are active, very active, and all of a sudden they are not as active as they used to be. They are not as active as as energetic as they used to be. They could walk 5 kilometers, no stress. But it will just suddenly happen that it becomes impossible for them to do strenuous exercise. Becomes impossible for them to go about stuff that they used to do easily before. They get tired easily. Symptom of depression. All of these things I'm going to be telling you, they are stuff that I experienced. There are a lot of symptoms of depression, but I'm not going to tell you what I did not experience. I experienced all of these things at one point in my life in 2020, and I felt like, what's going on? I was feeling all of this, but it was a tug of war. It was a trouble. It was a lot of fight between myself inside of me. Poor concentration. You look at something, and before you know it, your mind is not there again. You are looking at it, but you are not seeing it. Concentration level down, almost zero. It takes you time to read and read and read. You have to read and read again before you can grasp, before you can understand what you are reading. It was terrible. Poor concentration, bad self-image, low self-esteem. That feeling that I think I'm not enough. I think I'm just little. I think I'm not sufficient. That thinking was so common. Oh, I didn't do it well. Oh, if I had not done this, if I had not done that, they would not have said this, they would not have said that. I would not have been blamed. This and that would not have happened. Bad self-image, symptom of depression. Weight loss or weight gain. It's funny how depression happens to different people. Sometimes you see some people, you say, hey, this one is just fat. It's not because they sleep too much. It's not because it's genetic. Sometimes it's a symptom of depression. And many times you see people add to people's depression when they begin to body shame them. They tell them, hey, see the way you look, oh man, you're not beautiful again, you're not handsome again. You are adding to his depression. You are adding to her depression. Now, the reason why she's losing her figure or her shape, her size, is because of depression. Sometimes the person may not even know that this is why this is happening to me. But subtly, you are also adding to the reason why this person is losing shape by making jest of or talking down this person. It's dangerous, very dangerous. Another thing is the thought of suicide. The thought of suicide. This did not happen to me. I don't know why, but sometimes, I just feel like, okay, what's it? It didn't happen to me. I didn't think of killing myself, maybe because of certain religious background. I'm going to be blamed killing myself. So that was strong in my mind. So I never thought of killing myself. No, that was not it at all. I never thought of killing myself, but it was really, really close. It was really, really close. I was almost like, what the hell am I myself? The last thing I want to talk about here is guilt feeling. Guilt feeling. Yeah, that feeling of guilt. That feeling of, oh my God, why did I do this? Even when others are not even seeing anything really bad about it, you feel like, why did I do this? Sometimes we are too hard on ourselves. You become too judgmental, even on yourself. Symptom of depression. Symptom of depression. Okay. Yeah, but I think that's all I have here on my notes as symptom of depression. The one I experienced. Most likely you have other symptoms, but somehow the general one you're going to see, the one that is very, very, very prominent is the alteration of your sleeping habit, your sleeping time, your sleeping pattern, your eating appetite, concentration, and that thought, that feeling of guilt. For whatever reason, you just feel guilty at some point or the other. You just feel like, okay, I think I'm the black sheep here. I think I should not have done that. I think I did it too much. I think I didn't do it enough. Somehow, you always find yourself being, in the wrong place. You just feel like, why did I do that? Why didn't I do this? You understand? So that is one thing about. And I define depression as the edits of the brain chemical function. One of the definitions I want to give depression is the edit of the brain chemical functions. There are a lot of them. I play around with a lot of them in my speech, in my lessons, in my writings, and all of it. But I choose three out of a lot of them, and they are the ODE of brain. I call them the ODE of brain. ODE of brain. O stands for oxytocin. Oxytocin is that brain chemical that is responsible for your socialization, your bonding. Your it's sometimes called the love hormone. Now, when depression sets in, there is going to be an addition, like an edit of these brain chemicals. Dopamine, that's for your pleasure. Dopamine gives you pleasure, dopamine is your cheerleader. When you just, hit a milestone, you just did something beautiful, something interesting, dopamine will say, hey, guy, good, 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 it's good to have you. That's dopamine. And endorphin is the guy that will say, okay, you know what? You can skip your sleep tonight. You know why? Because you want to get this job done. Dopamine will tell you, okay, go an extra mile because you want to get this done. So dopamine will max your pain because it wants you to get or realize an eventual pleasure. So when there is an edit of this OD of brain, there is likelihood for depression. You are most likely going to be depressed when these OD of brain are not properly aligned for your daily effectiveness. When the oxytocin, the way you gravitate towards others, the way you move close to people, when it's affected. Now, sometimes you may not need to move too close to people because even in that, depression is hidden. However, you don't still need to move too far away from people because that's a very loud voice of depression. What of dopamine? You should feel good when good things happen to you. But when you feel like, oh, it doesn't matter, when you think that the win is too small for you to celebrate, you are close to depression. Many times that happened to me. Many times I feel too humble to celebrate my small wins. I feel too proud, I would say, to celebrate my small wins. When they happen, I just feel like, hey, that's small. Let's wait for the big one. But it was compiling. It was getting, enormous, and it was affecting my productivity. It was affecting my effectiveness. My efficiency dropped because I was not appreciating myself. I was not appreciating my psychology. I was not appreciating my neurology for the small wins they bring my way. It's obvious. I was actually not really grateful to God. One of those reasons for depression. Endorphin. Yeah, I became overdriven. I wanted to achieve a lot of things in no time. So I overdrive myself to get things done. Sometimes I now lose out of the energy to even do anything at all because I was overdriven a few minutes ago, a few hours ago, a few days ago. But anytime I want to do it again, I go very hard. It was terrible. Yeah, editing the brain chemicals wrongly would lead you to depression. And editing the brain chemicals rightly is one of those things I'm doing to you now by engaging you on this session of opportunity intelligence. This is opportunity intelligence where you are made to be opportunity intelligence, to be the right person at the right place at the right time, doing the right thing. Very important that you are the right person. It's not enough that you are the right person. It's also important that you are doing the right thing at the right time, at the right place. That's opportunity intelligence. If you have never been opportunity intelligent in your life, 2021 would not permit that negligence on your part. So don't miss any time on opportunity intelligence. It promises to be very amazing and pushing enough with high level of emotional intelligence to move you around the fulfillment of your goals and destiny. Now, treatment of depression. Medical, medication, and also talk therapy. You can have the two combined. It depends on how uh, deep or chronic the depression has gone. But many times it's nearly impossible not to have a talk therapy when you are trying to recover people from depression. And for you to be in the right position to be recovered from depression, you must admit that you caused it. How? Why? Don't ask too many questions. Just admit that you caused it, and for it to change, for things to happen differently, you will also be responsible for that. Very important. There are types of depression. Types of depression. I'll just go through them. I'm not your expert, for your mental health. I'm just talking from my own personal experience about what happened to me and then how you can avert that from happening to you. Seasonal affective disorder, what we generally know as SAD. When you say you are sad, there is a disorderliness. There is a kind of disorderliness. And what's this disorderliness? Now you know that this disorderliness is an edit of the brain chemicals, the ODE of brain. You become ODE when you edit the brain chemicals, the ODE of brains wrongly. Ode means a fool in Yoruba language. Ode means a non-entity in Yoruba language. So you become an ode when you edit the brain chemicals wrongly, when you allow a disorderliness to the right frame of the brain chemicals. It's not good. Don't do that. There is persistent depressive disorder. Persistent. Now, seasonal. It happened just a moment. Oh, why you feeling like that? Why are you looking at me like that? Why you like this? Why you behaving like this? Oh, I'm sad. It's seasonal, right? You don't expect to come back and meet the person in that mood tomorrow. But when it becomes persistent, then we call it persistent depressive disorder. You meet the person today, the person is sad. You meet the person tomorrow, the person is sad. Then something is happening. Something is happening. You get okay. Sad today, sad tomorrow, sad next tomorrow, sad, for only God knows something is happening wrongly. And then premenstrual dysphoric disorder. Premenstrual dysphoric disorder. That's another type of depression. It's common with women most of the time. When women are about to have their menstrual cycle, they have swings, mood swings. Sometimes they have disorderliness, just as it is here. And we have psychotic depression. Psychotic depression is very terrible. I was a victim of somebody that had that psychotic depression at a point in time in life, and it was terrible. It's a feeling that people. One of the signs of psychotic disorder is the feeling that people around you want to hurt you. That certain people just want to harm you. So when you see them, you are unduly annoyed or aggressive towards them. You just feel like, okay, these people want to harm me, so let me guide myself against them. Psychotic disorder. We have major depressive disorder, we have bipolar disorder. All of these things, they are open to you to learn about. Now, sometimes it's not because of yourself, it's not because of you, but if you know about this, you can be somebody's savior, you can be somebody's hero one day, very soon. Because you know what? A lot of people are going to fall into depression this year. You know why? They thought 2020 would go with everything attached to it. They didn't just know that it's just a change of calendar. We are still in that era. So if care is not taken, people will be shocked. People will be surprised. And I say there will be a lot of personal pandemic this year. Personal pandemic. Okay. Now, remember I said, there is something that makes us to look down, and it is called gravity. Gravity says everything that goes up must come down. Down, down, down. When you look down on yourself, you are going to be depressed. You're going to be depressed. And sometimes you can't but look down on yourself. You know why? Because of gravity. Gravity. The burden on you, gravity, makes you to look down on yourself. The burden on you, gravity, makes you to look down on yourself. So how did I escape this gravity? How did I escape this gravity? And what did I do with it? I switched consciously from being happy for a reason to being happy for everything. I became happy and grateful for everything. Before, I was selective with why I should be happy. I was selective with the reason for happiness. But I switched it. I was like, I'm dying because I had few things to be happy about. And I was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to be happy for everything. Everything. I'm going to be happy about everything. And that was the beginning of the joy. I became happy for everything. The second thing I did was I ran away from the gravity. I ran away from the gravity. And you know what? I ran to gratitude. When you are under gravity, this body, like I said, it's like gravity. It makes you to look down. But when you are for gratitude, you look up. And when you look up, you are not depressed, you are uplifted. Disease. You must run away from a lot of this. Ease. This is taking away your easiness, discomfort, taking away your comfort, disadvantage, taking away your advantage, disrespect, disappointment, discourage, discontent, disconnection, discredit, dissatisfaction, disrespect, discourage, discriminate. Run away from all of these. As a matter of fact, depression has a loud disease called disorder, disorderliness of the brain chemicals. This, run away from it, run to gratitude, and you would have your head lifted up. Gratitude will turn your head up. Gravity